Hey guys, it's Kevin from Horology Project. It's just a Denver day right now, and I decided to film this video of this Rolex Submariner, a 116610LV. But wait, is it really a Rolex Submariner? It actually isn't. This is a replica watch. Could you believe it? Look at this thing. It looks like the genuine article. I had a chance to get this from a friend, and I thought it'd be fun to do a video on replica watches. Let me be clear right now. I'm not trying to do a video promoting replica watches, rather having an honest conversation about some of the dangers out there with buying a watch and ending up with a replica. So a few months ago, I was in the market for a Tudor Pelagos. I ended up doing a video on a Tudor Pelagos, but I ended up buying two Tudor Pelagoses, and the reason was because one of the ones that was sent to me was in fact a replica watch. A gentleman from France sold me a watch, making me think that it was genuine, and when it got to me in the mail, I opened it up and everything looked right. It had a nice Tudor box, matching serial number with the warranty card, but when I had the watch in hand, something just felt off and turned out it was a replica. I have to say though, this Hulk replica is much closer or better looking than the Tudor that I had before. This is much more similar to the genuine article than the Tudor Pelagos, and that's because there's actually varying degrees out there of quality reps. This comes from what I was told from a better factory out there. There's a few factories that make Rolex Submariners, like the ARF factory and the Noob factory. This is what I was told is a Noob V8. So it's one of Noob's, or this factory's, 8th iteration of this watch, and I think they're on like iteration 10 or something. But each factory comes out with new watches, and they usually, like kind of like iPhones, they add a number to it, and it's hopefully closer, at least for the rep buyer, it's closer to the genuine article. So with all these different iterations, they've gotten really close. As you can see, the bracelet tapers and is finished well. It has the clasp system with the folding clasp and a beak-like opening. It has, I'm doing this all one-handed, it has the glide lock system that works perfectly, and is, believe it or not, I thought it was going to be very gritty, but it's pretty smooth and it works nice. So it's just, you know, it's just crazy to me how close this thing is to a gen. So watch, hear that? It snaps in really easy. That's the folding clasp. So getting to it now, like I said earlier, I was fooled once by buying a replica watch, and thankfully I was under eBay's buyer protection policy, so I was able to get my money back on that. But the conversation that I wanted to have today on this video is just being aware that there are people out there who will sell you a genuine watch even though it's a replica. So you need to be very vigilant about buying some of these higher ticket watches, especially Rolex, because Rolex is such a coveted company out there that there will be somebody out there trying to sell a genuine watch when in fact it is a replica. So just to take a closer look on this one, some of the flaws that I've noticed on this one are the pearl height is a little off, and the pearl coloring is a little off. I've noticed that the indices are not as rounded as they are in a genuine. So like at these rectangular and triangle ones, they're rounded typically on the edges. I think the date wheel font looks pretty good actually, and the Cyclops magnification looks pretty good. Now, the biggest tell for me though is probably the bezel. Rolex uses a platinum based bezel. And while this one has kind of that platinum sparkle, it seems a little too dark, more on the gray side. And as you can see on some of the indices or markers, they look like they're unevenly applied and a little dirty. So especially that 5-minute marker right there, look how dirty that looks. You can see that from the eye. The other thing is the knurling right here on the edges they feel a little rough to the touch, as if it hasn't been finished well, and just doesn't seem to have the level of polish that you would expect. But here I am really having to dig deep and think about it. And honestly, if someone just handed me this watch, there's a really good chance that I wouldn't be able to pick up on those things. I mean, it does have a misaligned rehaut, but sometimes genuines do. And I'm sure that the font is probably slightly off from what you would get from a Gen Submariner, but I don't have the kind of skill to be able to say, oh, well, that font is, 1 point too big, or a little, it should be a little bolder or something like that. That's just, I think for most people, this will fool people on the wrist. When you take a closer look and actually have it in your hand, it's a little easier to tell for sure. There's a little bit more like rougher edges, and the bracelet just doesn't feel as refined, if you will. And especially at this clasp point, this feels a little gritty, and it doesn't close with the same level of tightness that a typical Rolex watch would. But it is very convincing. So just a little friendly reminder out there to be vigilant and have some eagle eyes when you are purchasing on the used market, because there are watches like this that exist with, unfortunately, scumbag people who know that it's a replica and will be trying to sell you it as a genuine article. Can you imagine paying $14,000 for a Hulk, thinking you're getting a Hulk, and ending up with something like this and not finding out till later? That'd be terrible. So be careful out there, and make sure that you, if you're going to spend the money on something big like this, that you've done your due diligence with verifying its authenticity, and don't be like me and buy something and end up finding out that it is a fake watch. So the question that I would like to leave to each of you out there is this: what are your thoughts on replica watches? And have you ever had an experience with trying to buy a genuine watch and, like me, finding out it was a fake? So please answer those questions in the comment section. I would love to hear what you have to say. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. I really would love to hit that 1,000 subscribers mark and take some more dedicated time making these videos for you guys. And I'll see you in the next one.